Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back at you again with another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are. I thought I'd talk about some of my random thoughts and things like that. So hopefully I won't stumble on my words too much, but and I hope someone or some people preferably out there will enjoy this video where I talk about like football and different thoughts of mine and plans and ideas and dreams and things like that. So as ever, I appreciate your support and all that sort of thing. You're sharing this video and likes and comments and things like that. And again, hope some people out there will enjoy my thoughts and that sort of thing. On the topic of football, because it's Friday, I thought I'd talk about some topics which I find fun, like football, which is when I was growing up, it was like I lived for football, like when I was younger. Or for any Americans out there, soccer. What dare I call it? If I was honest, I'd probably call it proper football, where you actually use your feet. But I don't want to offend anyone, so I hope people would take that as a joke. But yeah, so I'm not really into like other sports, like because I wasn't grown up with it. I'm not really keen on other sports like American football or stuff like that, to be honest with you. But obviously, if you were growing up with those things, I suppose you would enjoy those more. But yeah, I've seen a few people talk about like discuss football on YouTube and like do reaction videos and all that. And I wish I had the voice that they had or the confidence they have. Like some channels, like some of the Celtic channels, like Hill 67, Irish Mick, Ryan 118 and channels like that, which are talking about Celtic, and also like just general YouTubers like Mark Goldbridge, who's a United fan. I'm not really a United fan, but I find his content quite interesting. So yeah, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about my own views or thoughts about football. Like for any football fans out there, I was thinking like the offside rule, I think it's like a new update of offside rule. I think like I know I mentioned it in my last video, but I think when the ball goes out of play, it's normally when the whole ball has to go past the line to go out of play or to be a goal or whatever. So I think that's how offside should be. Like with the player, it should be only if the player's passed the defender, like his whole body, not just part of his body, but the whole of his body. So I'd love to hear what people think about some of my ideas, including that one. And also like I was thinking the Champions League. I wonder if it should be just the champions from each. If it fitted the description of what it was called, the Champions League. Again, for those who follow football, I think it would only be champions from each country, and maybe they could even have more countries or as many countries across Europe as possible. Like even some of the lower leagues, which would help them to get more exposure for their leagues, if you know what I mean, like in a positive way. So they're some of the thoughts I've had. I know they're a bit quirky, but the Champions League, if it fitted its description, I suppose I take things quite literally. I don't know if that's like maybe I have an autistic trait or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I take things literally, as I say. Maybe that's part of my dyspraxia, excuse me, which I've talked about before in other videos. I'm sure must have covered it. I know I've mentioned being dyslexic. I don't know if I'm mentioned being dyspraxic as well, but I know that's kind of linked towards them. So I don't know if that's why I think I see things like quite literally and all that sort of thing. But especially when I was growing up, I don't think I understood things like jokes very well or sarcasm or things like that as much as other people. I think I've got a bit better at doing so as I got older, hopefully. But yeah. But yeah, so I take things quite literally, as I say. So I think that the Champions League should be like possibly just champions from each country, and maybe that should be like they could involve more teams from countries where they don't have much opportunities. So they could be more lower league countries or poorer countries, which could be involved or things like that. So as ever, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts about those two thoughts of mine. One about the offside rule, and one about the Champions League. Talking about my dreams, I'd love to help people from Asia, especially young people, like especially young girls. I'd love to encourage people to mentor young girls from Asia. Going off the topic of football for a bit, in terms of like being involved in producing films, like learning about how to become producers and directors of their own films and how to write storylines and things like that. So it'd be great, I think, if in the future, either online or maybe even going to Asia, like people could teach young people in Asia, especially girls, about how to, as I say, be involved in film production, being producers, directors, and things like that, so they could be empowered to and different areas as well, like in business, like there could be mentors that teach young girls in Asia, especially about business, and different areas like that. And as I often said in the past as well, I would love to support. When it comes to Africa, I'd love to support Africans and maybe Indigenous Africans and Australasians, sorry, in terms of things like STEM, but also programming and coding, like learning also how to make their own tech games, like video games, online games, and things like that. So I think it'd be great if mentors, maybe even from countries like Japan and Korea and places like that, could go to parts of Africa, or at least teach them online how to make their own games, and maybe Africans could network together and teach each other how to make their own video games or online games, and even make like a website made by people in Africa and or Australasia, like Indigenous Australasians, Aborigines, Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders, and Maoris, learning how to make their own websites where they have games on those websites, and maybe people could play those games for free, but at the same time they could sell advertising space on those websites or something like that, so they could find a way to market them, or or like people could pay a small amount of money to play those games. But obviously, let's say for each hour you play, maybe it could be a small price, and then hopefully those games will be exciting to play, so more excuse me, so people will play them for quite a long time. So say if it's £1 for each hour, then and millions of people play them around the world, and they could generate income that way, so hopefully help their economies excuse me, much more. But yeah, so I thought, as I say, I'd talk about some of my random thoughts and ideas. So can't think of much else to say, but I was thinking about that idea about the offside stuff, and also the Champions League for a while. I know I was going to say in the intro, but I forgot to say, or in the beginning of the video rather, that I shouldn't think. I was going to try and make a little corny joke about, I know I shouldn't think too much, or should be careful not to think too much, probably because I'll lose even more hair. But maybe if I stop thinking, it'll grow back as well. Yeah, so these are my random thoughts, and maybe I'll think of some more in the future. So as ever, I'd love to hear what you think about my crazy ramblings and mad thoughts, and I am out. Peace and love.